What's up, guys? Today we're gonna continue with our tower defense game. So let's get right into it. So first, what we're gonna do today, guys, is we're gonna start off with our turret. And with our turret, we are going to make our turret buying menu, which is gonna be somewhere around here. What I'm gonna do is in the costumes, I'm gonna get a capital P costume, which I'm gonna be back with an amazing costume right now. So what I've done was I got this weird big costume and a turret that is a square and turret that is a circle. And I'm actually gonna make two turrets in this episode to show you guys how to make some custom turrets, which you can do a few things. And I think in the episode I am going to make about 5 different turrets. So what I'm gonna do is duplicate this, and with my 6th I'm gonna give it some sort of a firing animation, which we're probably gonna get to it in the next episode. But it's good to be prepared, so what I'm gonna do is get this firing done. Now that I have the outline, I'm gonna fill it with some sort of an orange, kind of like this. Let's get it 12, and I'm actually gonna shrink it because it's a little bit too big. And then you're gonna send it to the back layer. Now what you're gonna do is you are going to Control C, copy it, and you're gonna duplicate this one, which is gonna be 7 by now. And you're gonna Control V it, send it to the back layer again. Now that you have the 7th, you're gonna have the 8th with no things. 9 and 10. Now you don't have to draw anything in there, but if you have different turrets you want, then you can draw it. This first 3 is gonna be their idle costume. This last 3 is going to be their firing animation, which you can just add this kind of flash. And here's the thing, you don't want to draw bases because we're going to have it in a different sprite, so you don't want any base in the thing. Now what you're going to do is we're going to go ahead, get a when green flag is clicked, and we're going to create a new variable. We're going to name it turret selection state. I guess that's how you spell it. And we're going to make that for all sprites. And we're going to create a variable. We're going to name it clone ID for this sprite only. And can shoot, which is going to be used in the next episode, but we will be prepared for it. So let's go ahead and select that for this sprite only. And click OK. Now, I think that's good enough for now. So let's set our turret selection stage to close at the start. And we are going to set our size to appropriate size at the start, which I'll set it to 75%. And I'm going to go to the variables, get another set, and I'm going to set my clone ID to -10. And I'm also going to choose can shoot to -10 too. And what I'm going to do is actually to go to the back layer, and I want 2 new variables actually. And I'm going to have X for this sprite only and Y for this sprite only, which you probably might know why we need those. So let's go ahead and set our X to a certain value. If you don't know which, just leave it blank for now. And then we will get a go to block and Y of -200. or whatever you will wish, but if you don't know as well, then also you can leave it blank. Now what you're going to do is go to looks, get a switch costume to 1, which is this. And you're going to duplicate this 3, actually before you do that, go to control, gonna create clone of myself. We're going to duplicate this 4 code, I'm going to put it at the bottom, and now we're going to do 125. So basically what you're going to do is leave both of them blank, but when you fill this one up, just do plus 75 or minus 75 and do the next value, and everything else just keep it the same. Switch this to switch costume to 2. Now what we're going to do is get a switch costume to P, and we are going to set our size back to 100. Then we're going to go to X of 0 and Y of negative 300. And then we are going to go forward 1 layers because we have that path. And then of course we will want to show. So basically what that's doing is this. But of course it doesn't look good right now because we don't have our things ready yet. So let's get actually prepared, and let's get when I start as a clone. When I start as a clone, we're going to get an if-else statement. If equals my clone ID is negative 10, which all fits the condition of when we're cloning right now, we are going to hide. And then we're going to go to the front layer, and then we're going to get a forever loop. We are going to wait until it equals open, and that is going to be church selection state. Then we are going to wait a certain value. Mine will fit at 0.09, and I'll show. Then go to the front layer. And just to get it right, I had this layering bug, but I guess you guys can figure it out. But I will need a wait 0 second, and I will actually want another go to the front layer. It's actually kind of that layering bug, or what I think I could do is to just kind of do that, but let's see how it goes. And I'll glide 0.5 sec to Y of negative 130 and X of my X. And I'll duplicate that code, change this to close, and I will wait no time, and I'll go to the front layer, glide 0.24 seconds to X of X at Y of negative 200. And I am actually going to go ahead and hide again. Now, if we see what that's doing is this. Yeah, it's hiding. We have to code this thing to pull this up, actually, which I forgot. And we're going to go to the events, get when this sprite is clicked. Now, this is a cool trick you can use, is if equals costume name is P, stands as parents, which equals this back of it, we are going to go to the front layer. We're going to do if else, if my Y position is less than negative 220, we're going to set our turret selection stage to open, and then else we're going to set it to close. The next thing we're going to do is get this glide block again, glide 0.5 seconds to X of 0, Y of negative 200. And we'll put this here. And then we're going to duplicate that. We're going to do the same thing, but the Y has to be negative 300. Now if we go, it's going to look something like this. So that's pretty nice, right? I guess so. And then now what we're gonna do is to actually make the turrets so they could be placed on the map. I think what we should do is, we should get a list. We're gonna name it turret type for all sprites. And what I'm gonna do is, in this, when the sprite is clicked, we're gonna add another if. We are going to do is if equals -10 clone ID. We're gonna get and actually two ands. We're gonna put it in one and. We're gonna get this block, this block. We are gonna get our costume. So if our costume name is smaller than 6, but also bigger than 0, because it has to include 1, and our clone ID is -10, we will be able to buy it and place it. We're gonna add it, our costume name, to the turret type, and we are going to set our clone ID to length of turret type. And then what we're gonna do is to go ahead and set our mouse, let's see. We actually need one more variable. We're gonna name it mouse action. So basically what this is checking is to check what mouse is like doing, basically, just as the thing is named. We're gonna do mouse action to clone name. I mean our costume name, not our clone name. Then we're gonna create clone of myself. And then we're gonna set our clone ID back to -10 so we could buy it again later. Then what we're gonna do is to go ahead, broadcast a message that is gonna be named selected, and click OK. And let's get another create clone of myself here, and I'm gonna create a sprite, name it base. So we're gonna create our base, and we're gonna create clone of our base. And we're gonna get to this in our next episode. I don't know, like, yeah, somewhere there. Now what we're gonna do is when I receive selected, if costume equals P, then we're gonna do this. So basically what that'll do is when we run this, when we get it, it's gonna go down. Now we have to make this so we could drag it, which is a pretty easy code. So, let's go to this else, because that's where it fits for the conditions. Let's get a switch costume to item, turret type, and clone ID. And we're going to set size. Yeah, here you go. 275. Or for this, what you could actually do is the length of the turret type. But I'll stay with this because it is a lot better. At least I think. Now what we're gonna do is show range. Because in tower defense game, when we're trying to buy a turret, it should show the range of the turret so we could place it where we want. Now we're going to create another list, name it turret info. This is a method I use a lot, and I can show you just a little bit later how to use it. We're going to get turret info, and we're going to get turret type, and we're going to get clone ID. So basically what that is item clone ID of turret type of item clone, I mean like item clone ID of turret type of turret info. That is basically what's happening. If you don't understand what it is, I can explain to you just a little bit later. Now what we're going to do is wait until not our mouse is down, because to buy a turret, we have to click the turret, which this turret will actually read as it is mouse down and just run it right away. And we don't want that, so we'll wait until our mouse is not down, and which is pretty nice. So let's get a repeat until and mouse down, and we'll leave that and blank for now. And we'll go to motion, go to our mouse pointer, and we will wait 0 seconds. And if you don't know the point of waiting 0 seconds, it's actually waiting 0 second is not 0 second. It's like a 0.0000001 or whatever. It's actually really short, but it's not 0 seconds, so you should do it. Now let's set our mouse action to NAN. And when the game starts, we're gonna set our mouse action to NAN. Right there. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to set our X and set our Y to our X position and Y position. We're going to use these when we're trying to aim at them. And we're going to set our show range to 0. And we're actually going to go to the back layer. And we're going to do forever. We're going to do find target, which we're going to do in the next episode. And I'm just going to leave it there like that. And what I think is we should move on to range. Now, for the range, I will be quickly back with my range costume, which is really going to be simple. So, here it is. This is simple circle, which is 150 by 150. Basically meaning that its radius or whatever is 75. Probably radius, I don't know. We're going to go to events. When green flag is clicked, we're going to set our show range to 0. Then we're going to go to the front layer because we don't want our range to be behind the track. And then we're going to go ahead and set our ghost effect to 50. Because if you see, it's a very solid circle, which it's not that good. So we're going to get a forever loop. We're going to if else statement. If equals 0, show range. Then we are going to hide. Else, we're going to show. And we're going to go to the mouse pointer. And we're going to set size to show range. Now, if you see, it's basically complete. But here's the thing. So, when I said, let's go to verbal. Let's get our turret info. It's empty, right? But we have to input the info of our turrets. So we could run. So let's go ahead and add about 10 items. And for the first one, you're going to store your first turret's range. Mine is going to be 100, and my second turret is going to be 150. Now I'm going to go to the fifth, which kind of sixth, which kind of resets. Now for this, I am going to input the, should I input the damage? I know I have something else to input. Well, guys, I think I can't figure it out, so we'll leave it blank for now because I don't think we need it. Because if I can't remember, probably I can't need it. I don't need it, probably. And let's check out what's happened to our project, which kind of goes like that, which isn't right. So let's go to our range. Oh, it's point towards, and let's actually go ahead and get a go to mouse pointer. And now what's going to happen is we're going to get our turret, kind of like that. So we have to be able to place it, which we should be. And repeat until mouse down. Let's try to take that and out. Let's see. There you go. That works. So I'll add a comment that says add later because we have to add it later. And I really don't know what the second input was. Like, I know I have something and I can't remember. But I think it's fine, and I think that should be it for this episode because I think that is enough. Now the thing is, we can open our selection menu, we can select a turret, we can place it however we want, but it can't shoot though, just not yet. Probably I'll be back in the next episode with it, and yeah, we should fastly input our base. It actually kind of looks terrible. And like, yeah, I think that's it. So remember to hit that subscribe button. It helps me a lot. And hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Probably you did. If you didn't, that's sad. Anyways, peace.